Hello, everyone. So we have with us Ho Chi Wai, the Vice President and Country Head at NIUM. So he'll be sharing his case study, 0 to 1 by NIUM. Over to you, Ho Chi Wai.
Thank you. The name of the company is actually called NIUM. So you can
Okay.
just think of it as millennium as NIUM. It's actually a Sanskrit that stands for rules. So we call it new rules and new possibilities.
Okay.
And thank you everyone for this opportunity for me to share about NIUM transforming from 0 to 1. I'm cognizant that it's close to lunchtime in India. So I will either make you have a very enjoyable lunch because you'll be so enthusiastic about doing your own startup because there's so much that you can change the world. Or I could make your lunch extremely miserable because you would have discovered after going through the talk there's so much that you had to do in order for you to even make sure that your fintech or your startup survive. But without further ado, let me just run through the agenda of what I want to share in terms of our transformation, in terms of the growth of NIUM. I will do an introduction to NIUM as the first chapter, followed by the covering some of our growth strategy for retail SME customers, and last but not least, our growth strategy for enterprise. NIUM's mission is about embedding world-class fintech solution in every platform we touch. So it's about really making movement of money seamless. We are in the space of transaction banking. So it's all how, in a nutshell, how do we make the transaction banking faster, better, cheaper? And I think the good thing is that we cover quite a spectrum of our customers, whether you are looking at individual customer, looking at small, medium enterprise, digital banks, large corporates, or even financial institutions, we serve them all. And we have a broad spectrum of solutions that will cater to each of their requirements. Just a glimpse of where we were at 0.25. I didn't really have the photo of when we were at 0, but what we do and what I do have is one that is around 0.25, where you can see pretty much like a garage, a group of people with very passionate dreams and starting what we think will change the world. And on the right-hand side, you'll see me in a Justco office, which is like a WeWorks equivalent in Singapore, and a very messy room. So where we are today, we are looking at having 200 plus clients globally, 130 million end customers, 60% payments made within and less than 15 minutes, across 6 continents, 6 billion volume of processed transactions, 1 million plus API calls per day, 2 times growth year on year. And we launched in 2015, 400 plus employees, 100 plus countries of operations. So I hope that gives you a good contrast, and we are still growing. So this is important. It shows the timeline of our evolution. We founded in 2015 as a company called Instarem, and raised the initial capital. Our CEO and our co-founder Mike started the operations in Australia, one of the easiest country to get a license and tremendous market potential because it's all sort of managed by the banks in terms of cross-border payments. So our solution has a niche in there that quickly capture the market share. But I must say that I'm thankful that's not the only country they have in mind because they believe the world's market. In 2016, that's where when they launched the presence in Singapore and Hong Kong, and Singapore became the global HQ, along with us receiving our Series A funding. And we continue to expand our presence in 2017 in Malaysia, going into Series B funding, and expanding further in 2018 in the rest of the countries with Series C. And in 2019, that's where we rebranded ourselves to become NIUM, from Instarem to NIUM. The whole purpose of rebranding to NIUM is so that NIUM can better focus on a B2B play, serving the large corporates and institutional clients, whereas Instarem, the brand name, will continue to exist to serve individuals and SMEs. And in that year, we also started our operations in Indonesia. This year, while it's a very difficult year for many, I'm glad to say that we had our best month this year in spite of COVID. And we also have received our latest round of funding from Visa and BRI. So it's good to put up this chart to show you a view that the world is our market, and in such a highly regulated industry, it's about getting the license to serve our customers across the world. These are the countries where we can serve our customers and where we have the license. And mind you, it's not just about getting a cross-border payments license. It's also increasingly expanding our footprint of where we can issue cards. So we are a principal member of Visa. We are able to issue cards directly to our individual customers and also to our corporate customers. And unlike in the EU, where we have an electronic money institution license, which is one tier below a full-fledged bank, that we can do a lot more fanciful stuff. The rest of the countries, you have to basically obtain licenses each and every one of them. So I would see this as a barrier to entry for a lot of new players, but I'm heartened that we have a good head start in this. Our trust and credibility, especially with the regulators that we are dealing with, has enabled us to open more conversations to regulators across the world. And even of late, we managed to get the EMI license in the UK in preparation for Brexit. We are backed by the blue chips, aside from the Visa and the BRI, who are our recent investors. We have been very grateful to be funded by our early investors, Vertex and Fullerton Financial Holdings. They go out to Temasek and the Ministry of Finance Singapore. So apart from them, we are also funded by a very credible company that not just bring us the liquidity, the money that we need, but also helps us open conversation and open up market opportunities. As a fintech and a startup, I think it's important that we participate in competition and get recognized in that. It's also a testimony that we are doing something that has tremendous impact on the industry that is also transforming the world. So to that end, we are very humble that we managed to obtain quite a number of awards internationally. And we have also been recognized as the top 250 global fintechs by CB Insights, which is a very respectable industry body. I will touch on briefly on what we offer to our customers. Categorically speaking, we sort of split that into three lines of business, I call by the send, spend, receive. So sending is on the cross-border payments. It's our bread and butter, our ability to help customers send funds across the world in real time for 60 plus countries across the world, and leveraging very much on our own payment mesh. So take the example, if a customer wants to send money from Singapore to Hong Kong, we already have a partner FI that's based in Hong Kong, which we are integrated through API. So the moment the customer requests us to send money for them from Singapore to Hong Kong, we can trigger an API call to the partner to disperse funds to any banks in Hong Kong. And because in Hong Kong, they have a FPS system, which is a fast payment system, pretty much equivalent to the fast in Singapore, the faster the UK, IMPS in India, that would mean that bank-to-bank transfer, interbank transfer is real time. And if you string up the whole journey where the customer funds us in real time, we call the API in real time, the disbursement for interbank is real time, the whole journey can be fulfilled within minutes, if not seconds. And that's the advantage we bring because we cut away with the middleman. We don't rely on using SWIFT or telegraphic transfer. It's much more direct. It brings about tremendous cost savings. It brings about tremendous faster turnaround time and also a lot better transparency in what our cost structure is and how we price for our customers. So not only can we serve individuals, but we can also help SME and through our platform play, we also offer this to our institutional clients. That's really about spend. On spending, I mentioned that we are a principal member of Visa, so we can issue cards directly to our customer, whether it's in the form of multi-currency cards or other interesting product construct that we will be launching in Singapore soon. But apart from that, we can also help SME issue their own branded cards. It used to take as long as 9 months for any SME to work with banks to launch a core brand card. But through this Visa FinTech Fast Track program, we can expedite the whole process to as short as 4 weeks from the time that the SME comes on board the program. That shows how powerful and why we think we as a fintech, we think we have the right to play in this role because of our agility and our nimbleness. So on the receive, which is the third vertical solution, it's a simple concept. Think of it like a global collection account where supplier in Singapore, for example, wants to collect funds from their buyers in the UK. They may not be big enough to register for a bank account in the UK, so which makes it difficult for them to receive funds from their customer, especially if the customer wants to pay in their local currency. So what we can offer is a global collection account by issuing a virtual bank account in the UK to to the SME, and the SME can share with their buyers the UK bank account, which the buyers can pay their GBP or Euro into that bank account. And our solution allows the SME to repatriate the funds back to Singapore. So I will go further into how we sort of bring about growth, what's our approach and strategy in generating growth for Reseau and SME, and that's really under the Instarem branding. So imagine you as an individual SME, who are these customers? They would be the immigrants and expats as individuals who need to send money home for their family members and also maybe for their own account for investment purpose. It could also be for locals for their cross-border property investment and also maybe in terms of other investment vehicles. It can be for your travelers, your digital nomads, overseas workers, students, entrepreneurs who may need to import certain goods and services overseas, repackage, resell, and it can also be for small to medium enterprise business. And what do they all need in common? They need the ability to move money across borders as fast and as seamless as they do. So touching on these two segments of customers, we need to have differentiated products. While it's a crowded space, but I think we do have some secret ingredients to make it differentiated and unique for our customers. So for individuals, it's all about how to make it fast, secure payment within the seconds, if not minutes. It's going to be low cost, as I said, the way we do cross-border payments, eliminate a lot of middlemen, and those cost savings are what we pass down to our customers. We can send to more than 100 countries by now, 65 of them in real time. We have good customer care support and transparency structures. For SMEs, it's about our ability to support multiple currencies. it's not for about single corridors, or it's not about just within Asia, but how you can support the SME to trade globally, and to be able to make payments globally. So we are able to support the various payout currencies across the world, which I will share in the later slide. We are able to bring down the fees for a lot of SMEs. For SMEs, I must say that they are always the hardest hit because uh, while individuals, some banks are pretty aggressive to help individuals more from a nation building point of view, that they will make it attractive and low cost for individuals. But for SME, you can imagine the many banks are not that forgiving. If you don't bring that kind of volume, you are paying a hefty cost for whatever you do, including cross-border payments. So we are here to really help the SME. The SME will utilize our same platform and enjoy the same fee structure as individuals. It's a one-click payment to multiple recipients, so that's something unique that we have built for SME, ability for them to, within a single batch of transfer, create multiple beneficiaries, payment to different countries, and you only need to fund us once. And once we receive the funding, we can trigger a payment within the batch to all the recipients in different parts of the world. Um, Last but not least is ability to make sure that it's easy to use, helps in their reconciliation, secure and accessible. So aside from that growth strategy, it's important that we build our presence because SME are also increasingly going regional, going global. So we need to be able to have presence in different parts of the world to help them because you need to have the license in those countries to assist the customers to send money out of the country, and not just also sending, but if they are also doing card issuance. So I'm glad to say that, as I shared in my earlier slide, we are licensed and we expand within a short span of 5 years to all these jurisdictions, and we are licensed in those, including the recent license that we have obtained, the EMI license that we have gotten in the UK. So that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin for growth is where we can support our customers to pay out. So we can support in more than 90 countries, 65 of them in real time. And that kind of network is important because especially the larger corporates and the institutional clients, you do need to the ability to pay out to quite a broad range of countries and not just within the region or a bilateral between country A and B, but really how can we cover the whole world. The other growth strategy for individual and SME, which is extremely critical, is how do you do the marketing. So we have the methodology behind it, which runs through this the stages. So you need to make sure that you do your market research, especially when you are a new player in this space. Who are our customers? We make deliberate intention that we want to focus on the white collar and not the blue collar workers. So our customers from day one has been on the white collar, where their average ticket size is close to about $2,500 USD each month that they send through us. And for those personas that you have identified, who they are, what nationality that they fall into, and then that's where you tailor the different marketing approach and building the awareness for this various groups of customers. So brand awareness is especially important. I always have this joke to share that when I first joined Instarem in 2018 and I introduced Instarem, people will ask me whether I was from Instagram, which I corrected them obviously that Instagram has yet to gone into financial services, but that shows the lack of awareness, and that was something that was so crucial for us to build that brand awareness. While we need to spend our marketing dollar prudently. It's not about putting big splash of advertisements in crowded CBD areas, but it's how do we spend our money wisely, looking at who our customers are, and have very targeted and focused messaging to these customers. Yeah, and we also do performance marketing by investing in the SEO, looking at social, engaging customers. We also do partnerships, working with various associations to help promote our brand awareness. And we have customer advocacies, review, word of mouth, social proof. And also important is our ability to analyze our existing customer base from a CRM perspective. How do I create campaigns targeting at those who are dormant, targeting at those who have just signed up, and also targeting those who are very passionate and highly engaged customers? How do I encourage them to refer us to more customers? Last but not least is our ability to measure, test, learn. In startups, it's all about testing, looking at data, making certain decision based on that, do testing, test quick, feel fast, and we always sort of iterate and generate new ideas. And also, how do we, if we know that the idea is successful, how do we scale it? Maybe it is successful for a certain target customer. Can we therefore also port it to another group of nationality and another group of customers?
Sorry, Niam, for interrupting. We
Yep,
we are running short of time, so maybe we can wrap this session in next 2 minutes, and then we can take a Q&A round.
sure. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
So, uh, so just a quick run through. This is about building our global brand awareness. So we are excellent in our Trust Pilot. We ran localized events for the Koreans. We create awareness. We sponsor the Root Academy because the Indian nationals form a significant base of our customers. Uh, it's also important that we groom a high performance team. So we work hard and we also play hard. So we are the best fintech employer. We won that award in Singapore, and you can see that we are also having great fun as a team. So I want to sort of quickly spend a couple of minutes just to wrap up with the enterprise. So enterprise play has been an area where we offer our B2B platform. We know that a lot of large enterprises have legacy systems. So how do we avail our capabilities, whether it's cross-border payments, whether it's a card issuance, multi-currency accounts, bill payment, etc., for all this enterprise? We do have a unique set of differentiators that will make us special. But as a startup, as a fintech, I think it's important that you know what is the right mindset. How do I get my company's name in the buyer's radar? Do I know when is their budgeting cycle? And how do I make sure that the customer is aware that we are a credible company, we are a credible startup backed by very credible investors? And last but not least, how do they believe that we can deliver in spite of the fact that we are a fintech? So I think these are important points to note as a startup, especially if you are targeting at the enterprise sales. I think participating in international conferences are extremely crucial for us to build our brand awareness internationally. So we have participated in the Money 2020, whether it's Asia, Europe, the US, and also many international events. That's all I have to share. So thank you.
Thanks, Hochi. So any questions? So you all can post it on the question tab or maybe raise your hand. Okay, there's one question.
Hi, yeah, this is Iran, Srikoda from Australia. So you're
Hi.
currently doing servicing 90 countries in money transfer.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch your question.
Are you currently servicing 90 countries across the globe?
Yes, we are. Not only are we servicing, so we have in the slide that I've shared, we have presence in terms of licenses that we can support our customers on
Right, right,
cross-border payment and also card issuance across the world.
right.
And we can also serve customers paying into countries in many parts of the world where we may not be licensed.
So can you service Australia and New Zealand?
We have the license in Australia, but not in New Zealand. So we
Okay,
can help the Australian individuals, corporates, SME to send money out of the country, and we also can also help the corporates issue cards, Visa cards in Australia.
right, right. Okay, I'll be interested. So please, I'll share my details and we'll be in touch. Thanks very much.
Certainly. Thank you.
Okay, I so let's end this session here as we are running out of time. So any other questions if you have, you all can just post it on the chat session and we'll take it forward to the speaker. So thank you, Hochi Bhai, for the interesting session. So we'll start the another session in next 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.